Hello, Barbarians, and welcome to the stream today. I'm going to be editing a podcast, but I didn't want to do it by myself, so welcome. Because editing is boring, we're going to be playing The Sims while we try to do this, so we'll see how that goes. I've tried to keep my desktop audio down so that you don't have to fight to hear me over me, but if you need me to make adjustments, just let me know. So let me get that going. So just so you know, what I'm doing in The Sims right now is I'm playing the Newcrest Challenge. For those of you who aren't familiar, Newcrest is a neighborhood in The Sims that starts out empty, and the Newcrest Challenge is a player-built challenge where you play through certain households to build up that neighborhood. So that's what we're doing. Right now, I'm working on the second generation in the challenge, which is a big happy family, which is not the way I like to play Sims, so it's interesting. You'll see my house is pretty plain because I'm so busy trying to manage all of these children that I don't have time to decorate. So I feel like that's like real life, but it's fine. So I'm gonna have my podcast up in the background. You'll see me kind of hop over every once in a while, pause the game to make some changes, and we can go from there. So right now I've just got the family has come home from school and I'm getting all that going. The oldest son is being a mopey little guy today, so he's up there. And parents are at work or asleep, so, you know, latchkey kids, it's normal stuff. Okay, that's a good part of the podcast. Cool. I'm just adjusting volume because I don't normally juggle all these things and stream at the same time, so this will be interesting. So just so you know, our current podcast takes place in the Blackwind RPG system. I put a link to it in the Twitch description for this one, but it's a cool indie system. It's very open-ended, and it's designed to be able to kind of like run a session of a game, sort of like a movie, where there's climbing action and you have resolution at the end. And there's a really neat point system where if you have multiple players, their participation changes kind of the dice they get to use, so their success probabilities. So it's really neat. So we're starting out in the first part of the podcast. We just did our first episode yesterday, so that's what we're editing right now. But the first part of the podcast I play, it's just me running it for Santiago, and then in the second half we're going to add some people so everyone can see kind of how that system works. Oh, I can tell I'm getting to a part where I would have to edit, but that's fine. That's nice about editing while the podcast is still fresh, is because you kind of remember how that stuff happened. Okay, good. Her mixology skill is up. Oh, she's super depressed right now because their cat just died in the game. And it was really kind of horrifying to watch death come and do all that, and then watch our TV like it was cool, which it was not. All right, let me hop over to the podcast because I've got some dead air here where we're fixing some stuff. Okay. So what I'll usually do is I'm using Audacity still. I think for the next ones I'm going to try out Reaper and see how I like that. But what I'll do is I'll let it go. I'll note kind of my timestamp of when we come back. I'll listen for a few seconds to make sure that's actually when I'm picking up, and then I'll do my edit. Because we don't edit very much. It's mostly to take out like big dead spots like this where we're reading something.
And again, these are all part of
Uh-oh. Oh, he's going through a musical phase. Gotcha.
captured slaves or prisoners. So a little bit of So these are
Okay. I had a cough right there, so gotta edit out the coughs so you guys don't have to listen to that.
part of the crowd of captured slaves.
There we go. So what sort of instrument should we give him?
Coming from different planetary systems.
Let's give him a guitar because it doesn't take up a lot of space.
And brought to this place to be part of what's called the School of the Falcon on Siri Prime, which is where these gladiators
he's got that. So he's all set for his phase.
Correct. For listeners.
So there's a part of the podcast that I just edited where we accidentally invoke Siri for people, so I'm sorry about that in advance.
All right. So, short
Apparently
here-
Geek and Sundry just went live, everyone, so if you want to hop over there, it's probably a rerun though.
But still, background that would be-
So we're at the part of the podcast where I'm just talking through the character sort of ideas. But for those of you that know Santiago, he's not going to use any of this. But his character ends up being really cool, so it's fine. What? Where is your homework? Why are you writing on a placemat? Oh man. What are you guys doing?
Actually, decides the dice that
You can keep writing on that placemat. That's fine.
so
Teenagers.
roll within the game a little bit about
Use and this bathroom is a mess. It's fine.
So for example,
Their life.
if you choose the
And
spades
then you can get leftovers.
things that are within your wheelhouse, you'll get a D8. So
It's just
instead
too
of
dark
D6,
out here.
And for
Cool.
everything else, you get a D10.
Perfect. That's a lot better. It's just bothering me.
So again,
It's
not
too dark.
much difference between trained and untrained. It's an 8 and a 10. Whereas your spades career is going to give you
Why
very
are you
strong
awake?
chance versus a weaker chance. Okay. So
Told you to go to
what
sleep.
we're going to need to consider now is kind of your character archetype, your casting for this, and then which of those.
This is why I can't have kids in real life. I just get so mad when they don't listen.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and pause
Okay.
here.
So she's feeling
Give you
better.
some time to think it over, talk through some of the wiggle and true.
Alright, so all the kids are finally asleep. Despite the fact they don't like to listen when you tell them to go to bed. And now we just have to deal with stuff parents need for their careers. So Zion's gonna do some eating. Maybe he can do some mischief while he's sitting here.
Into the actual scene. Give
Describe apocalypse.
what are they going to see first?
Claim to be a criminal mastermind.
What does he look like? Where's he from? What does he do? Why is he here?
Lie about his career. Oh, and you have to fart. I mean, that's important. Look how close he is. This has taken forever to get mischief to level 10. It's probably my least favorite skill to level. It's awful. Yes! Finally! Jeezy crazy. Okay. Just concentrate on doing that. Because I think now we're all set for work. Yes. We've been waiting on this promotion for like 5 years. Your husband just told you he's a criminal. He said he was lying about his career, but he's not. That's what he is. I'm just listening to some dead space in my podcast while my Sims do stuff in the background.
In this place.
What are you up to? Oh, don't get all depressed. Your cat just died. It was very sad for them.
Activating people's devices.
This house is filthy. There's too many Sims in here that are slobby. That's the problem.
Aside from the cool touch.
Okay, we're in the intro scene for the game right now.
Yes.
So there's a really cool thing in the Blackwind RPG where you have a chance to sort of introduce your character and introduce one of your specialized skills. And that makes it pretty interesting because it really gives the players an opportunity to contribute to the narrative, and they're actually rewarded with points in the in-game system for doing that, which is kind of like experience if you want to think of it that way, but it works a little bit differently because there's no leveling. But yeah, it's pretty neat. So in this one, I'm introducing sort of the setting, and then Santi is able to introduce his character in a little bit of a flashback to establish sort of his background. And it's a really fun sort of system for that. Wow, you are so sad. Because he wants to build a snow pal. Oh, that's a good snowman.
And
All right. Stop mourning your cat. Your cat died. It's very sad, but I also only have 2 bathrooms for all the people in this house, which makes it bananas. Ooh, what's today? Oh, it's Winterfest. Let's decorate. Yeah, it was. That bathroom is really dirty. It's really gross. Let's sing Fwinglezibs, because that's the best song, obviously. Everyone needs to sing Fwinglezibs, Fwinglezibs. It's nice having an actual play podcast where you don't have to produce it too much. Like, you just get to take out the extra stuff that nobody wants to hear anyway. So, a lot of pauses and things like that. But right now, we're in a pretty good spot. Right in the middle of like the first scene before we go into the training montage. There we go. Make a wish. See what she looks like. Okay. 2, 4, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we'll roll a d12. And d4. 3. Sure. d4. 1. And there's d3, 6, 7, 8. d8. 7. What a sad combination of traits. Oh, nice. Okay, you do look different than your sister. That's, I mean, a little bit. They do look very alike. Alright, so we are at a part in the podcast where we're transitioning to the next major scene. So we'll go ahead and take a break here. Let me refresh my tea. And when we come back, we'll start editing what's really like the second half of the podcast. So we'll be in pretty good shape. All right, so I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm just going to get us set right back up and we'll get into it. Like I said, it's probably just kind of a really chill sort of stream. Not too much going on here because we're editing a podcast. So if you just need something to have on in the background, so it's not quite so lonely, it's pretty good for that, I think. So I'm actually going to leave my game paused for a second, have some sections. I think what's happening in this part of the podcast is I'm switching some of the background sounds over, so there's a bit of a gap I need to take out. And we're not as far as I was hoping we were. Isn't that always the way of it with podcasts? Is that they take, even when you're doing super limited editing like we do, where it's just taking out these spaces where we're checking things, it just takes a lot longer than you think it will.
Alright, laser view set up in certain intervals that can either
What'd you get? What'd you get?
cross at neck height or
Ooh, a Schmapple Micro.
sound that
Let's see. A large pet poop. Oh, because Ryan was naughty. Ooh. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you? It's Winterfest in the game right now. And so they're getting their presents from Santa, and Ryan got a pet poop because she was on the naughty list this year. What'd you get? Ooh, a digital camera. Cool. Take photo.
It's not as dexterous as you, but you get the feeling this is the first time in this sort of situation.
There we go.
Especially after spending a little bit of time with her as you have over the course of this beginning of the montage.
You gotta get that
she
sweet picture, Father Christmas. Because why wouldn't you?
So that it doesn't impede her.
Nice. We'll put it up with the picture of the cats. There.
And
Looks
and the way
great.
that she does
So
it
good.
is a clear view of all of the scars
You're in
from
bed.
the whip that she
You're
has.
still up. Oh yeah, you have to do your high school homework. And then you
she
can
has
go to
other
bed.
scars as well that look more like battle
Oh
scars.
yeah, she aged up, so we gotta
You have a feeling
give
this
her a
is the
grown-up
first
bed.
gladiatorial school that she's been in.
Because you can't sleep in a little kid bed anymore. That would just be rude. Oh, I'm at a part of the podcast where the dog started barking. Let's see. They do that sometimes, and then I have to edit it out. So there we go. Dog bark. Done. So yeah, their cat passed away recently. That's the pictures that are in the hallway upstairs. They're very cute pictures. See, that's her after her spay, her sleeping standing up. There's her in front of the behind the TV. That's her as a kitten. And then of course Father Christmas, or Father Winter, sorry. You know, because you got to get all that going. And let's see. Here, have a school project. It's the best Christmas present ever. Oh, he liked it. Cool. Yay. And that finished our Winterfest goals, so that's good. Let's throw that cake away. No one in this house needs cake. Yay. Okay. Awesome, 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 awesome. Sweet. We finished Winterfest for everyone and did a good job. Go us. We did it. I do like holidays. I'm glad I got seasons for the holidays this year. It was a good add to my game because the weather is really cool. Like right now it's winter in the game, as you can see, and I got to make my own holidays. So for example, there's some that are defaulted, but like I have spring equinox in here, summer solstice, fall equinox, and I have winter solstice, which they celebrated a little bit back already. And then the game adds additional holidays. Oh, I also made Community Day, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so there's all sorts of fun stuff in seasons. Plus the weather. It's just fun. Look, the family's all building little snow pals, so it's fun. I mean, this is basically podcast editing, is you try to save yourself from the boredom of sitting there waiting for something to happen. Who's calling you? No. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you're supposed to be at work already. What's wrong with you? Oh, it's because it was Winterfest, so it got it all confused. So we should be able to get his promotion today because we finally maxed out Mischief skill, which is the worst. The worst. In this part of the podcast, I'm singing the theme to the X-Men cartoon, so you have that to look forward to when you listen to it. We are about a little under halfway through the podcast right now. Working on our gourmet cooking skill, because she is a chef. There's too many Sims in this household. It's ridiculous. Alright. Did not get our promotion, our work. Oh, because we were so late for work, probably. That's okay. We'll get it today. We'll get it tomorrow. No, we don't have work until Sunday. Dang it. Oh well. Nothing to do for that right now. Ooh, what I can do is we can hack our work performance. Hopefully we don't get caught. This is what hacking looks like in Sims. It's hacky, you know, whatever makes you happy. Okay, so there's a part where we're just kind of talking about some rules clarification. So I definitely want to adjust that a little bit because it's just us kind of trying to figure out how we want to handle some of the rules. Actually, I think I'll leave that in. That's a pretty good explanation of how we decided to handle that role. I think that works. Oh, some extreme hacking happening here. Going for a little run. So their neighborhood's kind of neat. It has the ice skating rink and a little coffee kiosk nearby. So that's cool. But then we also have a bunch of that stuff in our backyard too, because we have so many kids. So many kids. Who's calling? Teacher had to break up a fight between Stephanie and another student in the hall today. Let's see. Let's raise some manners. He's talking to his wife. Nice. How did he do? Oh, cool, yeah. He hacked it back up into promotion range. So at least there's that. Next time we go to work, we should be set as long as we're not late. I should have just kept him home because it was the holiday, but that's all right. Let's have you join that. Okay, so Santi just called a pause in the podcast. We have a pretty good system when we're recording where anyone can call for a break, and that makes it easy to find when you're editing, so that we can just take it out. Because like I said, we don't have a really big, there's no big production. You see, I'm not adding sound effects or doing anything crazy. I'm not taking out every or every breath. I'm mostly just picking through, and any place there's dead space or any place where we've asked for a break, I take those out just so that it's a little cleaner. But it's a pretty like true to table podcast where it's what you hear is exactly how the game goes, including some days where we're tired or we're figuring out a new system. In this case, we were definitely figuring out a new system, but it was really friendly. It was very open-ended. Like I said, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, the Blackwind RPG system, I put a link in the About Me section, so you can check that out if you want to see more about those rules before you hear the podcast, because this episode should be out later today. As soon as I finish this editing, I'll get it uploaded. Now, I don't have the expansion that adds the dancing skill, so she doesn't get any cool dances. This is the only one she knows. I only have a few expansions. I have Get to Work, Seasons, and Cats and Dogs, the important ones. And then I also have the stuff pack, the game pack that adds restaurants. And I have the laundry day one and the toddlers one, or the family one, that gives you more of the children interactions, because I was doing the New Crest challenge, so needed one that made children a little bit more interesting because they're just a slog otherwise in this game. What else do you want to do? Watch TV. You're a very boring person. Make friend. Okay, so let's turn this off. All Sims want to buy a pool. That's what they always want all the time. I swear. So, oh, she's gloomy. She's a little goth kid. How cute. Alright. So that's good. For those of you who are fans of Santiago's descriptive nature in the podcast, he is going into the molecular structure of a type of bone used to make knives. So get ready for that. Look at this cute little family. Alright. Everyone is in an okay mood, so they should all be able to do their homework today without issue. Do your homework, do your homework, do your... Let's get rid of the poop. Oh, so funny. Hey, I said to do your homework. What are you doing? Fine. Teenagers, they just do what they want. Where are you going? Oh, you're just don't want to deal with people. I get that. I see you, fam. Oh, you're doing invisible homework again? I don't know what happened to his homework, but it bugged out. So last time he was writing on a placemat, and this time he's doing invisible homework. It's got a bit of dead space. That's the thing, is if you are someone who ums a lot, just replace that with thinking space, because that's easier to take out than a lot of thinking noises. So, you know, be nice to yourself. Watch the cooking channel while you eat food. Anyone who doesn't do that is just crazy anyway. Play Sims forever. Because then we can play Sims in our Sims. Look, a Sim playing Sims, guys. Simception! It's the best. It makes me miss the old Sims though, because they play with stuff that I haven't seen for a long time. This family's full of slobs that leave their stuff on the floor all the time. It's the worst! How are you flirty? I'll never know how these Sims operate sometimes. Alright, texted someone but they didn't text back. It's been like an hour. It's like, no, just calm down, crazy boy. Okay. Don't make fun of his snow clothes. It's just what he wants to wear. I don't know what to tell you. Alright. Ooh, podcast gap. Need to fill in. It's figuring out this whole ice skating thing. That's cool. Oh, he's about to fall. Look at that face. Boof. He's figuring it out though. It's a skill, you know? You gotta let that happen. So the podcast is at 1:18. But it goes to 2:20, so we're about an hour away from being done.
We shall see how this ends.
Which is weird, because I know right now we're getting into the last, like the climactic scene for this section of the adventure for the module. So that's interesting. We'll see. I'm not sure. Maybe that fight goes longer than I remember it going. So, because none of you guys would be aware, because this is just the game that I play normally, Zion is part of the founding family of my New Crest neighborhood. So my original sim was Jaina. No, my original sim was Laurel. I made their last name Crested because they're the New Crest neighborhood founders. And she got married to a neighborhood guy. That's his family. And her generation, the goal for that one was to basically make all these perfect plants and then to change their house into the local park. Because again, the whole point of the New Crest Challenge is to build up the neighborhood, to populate it because it's empty. So if we take a look, I can show you. So this is their original house that was converted into the local park. So this is the Memorial Art Garden, and actually her tombstone and her husband's tombstone are here. So you can see, pretty standard. Got some playground equipment, chess tables, barbecue. We've got the memorial tree that has Randy and Laurel's tombstones and the cow plant skeleton. All of the food plants are outside in the trees. And then inside in the greenhouse are all the flowers. So that's how that works. There's a little flower arranging station and a piano, because you can also use this venue for weddings because it's a park. So there's a little wedding arch by the cool mystical magic bean tree. And this is where they lived. It's been converted. There's a bunch of bathrooms, a dining area, a bar, and then the kitchen so that you can do parties and catered events and stuff like that. And you can see there's all this painting stuff because it's an art garden, so there's places to paint and things like that in the garden area. So yeah, so that's the little park that we made from the first house. And then Zion and his brother split up into the new household. So there's his brother's household, Ian, and he lives there with his family. But then the house that I'm playing, ooh, podcast pause, is Zion, who is the younger son. And so generation 2, the whole point is to do the big happy family thing and to add those houses into the first neighborhood to be kind of your lower starter house area where all the houses are under 20,000 simoleons, which is your starting money. So it's pretty cool. Shirts. Oh, hilarious. That's my favorite joke, where you just say shirts. Well, it has been a long time, about an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for now. I'm going to edit a couple parts of the podcast where I want to focus on a little bit more, and then I'll be back probably a little bit later, maybe with something a little bit different and more exciting. But thanks for hanging out if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Spend your rage wisely.